Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Twist Gaming. We are here live at Origins 2019, continuing to bring you to the front row seat of some amazing board game coverage with some fantastic board game publishers. So
Fantastic.
Fantastic. We are so happy to have with us Indie Game Studios.
I did.
For Indie Boards and Cards and Stronghold Games. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to genuinely, on camera, live and recorded, thank you guys so much for your sponsorship of our show.
Thank you.
You know,
You're very welcome.
without you guys, we would not be able to do these kinds of things. We wouldn't be able to do these shows. We wouldn't be able to bring the front row seat to the audience. So I'm truly, genuinely very appreciative of
thank
all
you.
that
We
you guys
appreciate you
do.
guys.
And we've known each other now since like basically when you started, way back when, and you were at BGG Con.
With a
And I saw
camera.
that so you really had something that you were trying to do, and you had a very special way about it. You were young and naive, I think, about gaming at the time.
Very much so.
But I knew that these guys were going to grow. Well, we wanted to help you out. And now we're like neighbors, right?
Yeah.
We like live 5 miles apart or something like that. So in Florida,
It's like,
in the
you're
wonderful-
really great. I'm going to move down with you guys.
That was the reason.
I feel
now
like
it all
there's
came
a
out.
secret
The
gaming community retirement thing that's going to happen.
Because you know, Anne is
No.
Anne looks like she's ready to
You
retire
don't
right
understand.
now.
There's all these publishers, and they're all like,
Yeah.
they're all like, everyone's going to Florida. And I'm like, what is going on?
We're definitely all old, but Anne is and team is not old. They're the young crowd.
You can crash their parties.
Pretty much.
We throw good parties.
It's the parties. So you guys teamed together just recently enough to create a enormous powerhouse here in the board gaming community.
That's right.
To bring amazing and great games to the community. That was redundant. We'll just go with it.
Go with it.
It's almost our anniversary.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Gen Con last year we announced, basically it was August 1st when
Yeah.
the merger went through, and we announced a couple days later at Gen Con Live that on the Dice Tower show that we were going to merge the companies, and it's been great ever since. It really has been.
Yeah.
It's a very happy, I like to say, happy dysfunctional family. No, we have we really have great respect, and we brought these things together, and it really is it's a marriage that was made in heaven as far as the companies are concerned. I'll have to shut this off so you don't hear those little things in my back pocket. Sorry.
Nothing to see here, folks.
So not the choice you're looking
This
for.
is
That's why we do it live.
we're doing it live.
So what do you guys have to show me today?
Well, we have 2 games we're going to show you. Nice 2 small little boxed games here.
Very cool.
Am I going to go first? I think you
Sure.
said that, right?
Yeah.
So the first game we're going to show you says in big letters, Doppelt so clever. In little letters, twice as clever. And later on the next printing, we're going to change that because we use the English name. Twice as clever is the follow-on game to Ganz schön clever, or That's Pretty Clever in English, by the hottest designer in the industry, Wolfgang Warsch. This guy is just on fire. Nominated 3 times for Spiel des Jahres and Kenner Spiel des Jahres in 2018. And he continues to kill it with follow-on games and other roll and writes and a party game that we have in our catalog. So he's just doing an amazing thing. So why don't we show you how this thing all works?
Okay, I'm going to get Steven to do board game magic. You ready? I need spirit fingers.
What do I do? This?
Look at it.
Amazing. Look at that. Woo.
It's movie magic right there, buddy.
So
I'm going to pull out.
there we go. So that's what comes in the box of Twice as Clever, and as you can probably tell, it is a roll and write, just as That's Pretty Clever was. And in this game, you are going to be doing the same kinds of things as you did in. I don't have all the dice. Why are you holding? Because you like those colors, I bet, better or something like that.
Maybe.
So just like you did in the first one, you're going to be rolling dice, selecting a die.
Okay.
Marking something with that die on there, and the dice that are lower, the dies that are lower, end up going up on the silver platter over there.
Okay.
For use by the inactive players at the end of your turn. You pick this one, you'll do another one, you'll roll all the other dice again.
I could roll.
You can roll for me, probably. And you do that again, and you'll do that 3 times. You'll be selecting 3 dice. And as you do that, you're marking things on your sheet.
Okay.
The other players get a chance based on the dice that are on the silver platter. You've handed these dice to them on the silver platter. And they get to choose one of the dice.
So cheesy.
And it's so cheesy and so great. And it's going to go around like that over the course of 4, 5, or 6 rounds, depending on the number of players in the game. And you are trying to score the most points in the game via getting the right synergies. So all of that sounds similar to the original game, but here the dice act very differently. I'm going to highlight some of the ways the dice act differently. You'll notice in the top section there's a silver section for the silver die. If you select silver die, can you see that? Can you see it? Can you see it? Oh, look at that. Go up a little bit more so you can see that silver section there on
So
the
is that one right here?
on the
Yes.
left side.
All
So
right.
when you select the silver die, let's just say that I picked this 5 silver. There you go. Every die that was lower than that was about to go up on the silver platter, I'm going to be able to mark the 5 of silver and all of those other dice in that area. So I could theoretically, I could mark 6 dice at one time if I actually put them all up there at the same time. Probably not the best thing to do because then that would be your last roll. But that's a very different mechanic than it was in the original game. And if you look the way that you're going to score in that area, you're going to get scores based on the number that you get in any one of those colors. So if you got like all 6 in pink, then you'd score 22 points for pink if you see that. Very good.
Yep.
And so you only got 1 in the blue, you'd score 2 points there. Add that all up, that's going to be your scores there. And in the vertical columns, you'll notice that you'll be able to get, for instance, a new fox there in that third vertical for the 3s. You'll be able to get another +1 die in the 1s, etc., etc. So a very different mechanism of scoring.
But you can definitely get a lot of points in there if you go gray strategy because, 22 times 4, that's a lot of points.
You could go
plus all those bonuses.
Tremendous, yeah. In any one of these, they're all like a lot of money. Take a look at the yellow. Yellow is astonishingly interesting. So if you look, you could score 163 points in yellow, theoretically. That's that number.
165?
There you go, 165. I can't read it from here. I'm old. So as we established, retiring in Florida. Anyway, so 165 points maximum you could score there in yellow, which is obviously more than anything else.
Now, is this yellow box also directly associated with the yellow die?
It is directly associated with the yellow die. Not only is it directly associated, so when you choose yellow, you are going to, first thing you're going to do for the 5, you must circle the 5, not exit out. You must circle the 5.
So the 5 over here?
The 5 over there.
Not
Yeah,
or
or
that
that
you can
5.
choose either one.
Pick either
Okay.
5. And then the second time you pick a 5, you can then, if you had a circle, you make the X. You only score if you have X's.
So you need to get it twice.
You need to hit them twice.
Okay, and
So
the same number.
the same number twice.
Twice
and
as
in
clever.
case of 5s, for instance, you might have to hit it 4 times. Now, if you circle them, and you circle 2 in any of those horizontal or vertical, maybe 3 in some of the vertical ones, like the 3, the 4, and the 5 there that are vertical, right? If you get all 3 of those in circles, you immediately earn a +1. Ta-da!
Makes sense.
And as you can see, there's a fox in there, and there's all the kind of standard kinds of bonuses that you can get as well. There's also one new bonus out there, and if you take a look, that's the one. It looks like a lock symbol.
This one right
sort of. It's not actually a lock, but it is a lock. You're unlocking a die. So after you've rolled and some things have gone back to the silver platter, you can spend an unlock. And you can, of your score sheet. If you now bring the score sheet down a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see there's the 3 bonuses. The unlock, then you can mark one of those. You mark one off if you earned it, and then you can bring a die back from the silver platter back, so you can roll it again in your next turn. So if you think about it, here's a kind of a strategy that I'm just kind of thinking about now. Actually, I've seen people doing this. So say you did use that silver die, and you put a whole bunch up, and you made all those marks, but you had earned a whole bunch of unlocks. You can go, I'm going to unlock, and you bring a whole bunch down, and you continue your turn. So that's a little strategy that I've actually seen somebody do very well, and I hadn't realized it in using silver. So there's 2. Go up to the green one. And
All right.
if you can get
we're
there,
we're gonna go there, and it's gonna be
all right,
a little
perfect. That's the
transparency.
bottom one. It doesn't even look very green. It's probably the green screen is probably having a problem with
This
green.
one, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But that's green. You can see her fingernails right below it. Right? That looks great. So you'll notice that there's groups of 2 there. So it said the first thing says ×2, and the next one says ×2, and it's a little minus sign between the 2. So what you need to do, what you need to do is you need to get a high number in the first one, and a lower number in the next one, because you're going to subtract the 2, and then in that little starburst there, point to the starburst, you're going to actually put the difference between the 2 in there.
And those are the points?
You can, yes, and you can therefore score negative points even, which is obviously not a good thing. So you got to go high, low as you go across, and of course earn bonuses. So those are the basic differences. So here's the cool thing, interesting thing. I obviously have played both games. You know,
Right.
the original That's Pretty Clever and the new Twice as Clever. I have stopped basically playing Twice. The
original?
one, That's Pretty Clever. Not because I don't like it anymore. I still love it. It's easier. So now I've been challenging myself to try to score well in this, and
Right.
I suck at it.
It's hard.
I mean, I can score in Gons in the original game. It's 260 easily. I mean, pretty easy. Even I've scored close to 300. Never broke 300. I know people out there have done way better than that. So do not shame me on that. But I have broken 200 in this game like 3 times. I mean, like, it's that much more difficult, not mechanically, but to get the combos
I've only broken
right.
100 twice.
100 twice.
It's really bad. It's really hard.
I think in the rule book it says something like under 140.
My last time
you're
was-
half as clever.
I was like 102 was my high score until the last game. I got 199. I was so proud.
So that's a really, it's just it just ratchets the system up. I mean, it really is. It requires twice as much cleverness
To try and figure out the combinations and all that.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
I seen somebody post a 400 score, and I'm like, do not tell me how you did it, because I'm going to
Figure
figure
it
this
out.
out. Because hopefully I will be as clever as that person someday.
You need
so.
to just trigger a lot of bonuses, but
You
it's
do.
figuring out how to do that in this game is so much different.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
And that's one of the coolest, like the most interesting, like cool endorphin rushes in this game. In both of them, is that you get these great chains where like
it's like
you
an
mark
engine of
something-
things that just
You mark something
Yeah.
that gives you a free yellow, and you mark that one, and it gives you a this,
it
and
snowballs,
boom,
and,
boom, boom,
and then
boom,
you're
boom.
just like, yes.
And so yeah, that's when you're really having a great time in this game.
Every time I've heard of this game, I've heard of it really played in the capacity of a single player game. What is the difference between single player and multiplayer?
You can only play single player in the app.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way. That's what people are playing single player.
Gotcha.
And it plays completely differently, and that's probably where I saw that 400 score. They probably were getting it in that game. Here, there's going to be all that interaction between us. Like
Okay.
I can sometimes, use the white die, which the white die is always wild. I can use that versus maybe using a different die because I got to keep the wild one away from you because I hate drafting the die to keep and hopefully I'm using it for myself in a good way, but I might want to take that instead of giving it to you guys on the silver platter. So the interaction is pretty interesting in this game too. So
very,
very
cool.
excited about bringing out this entire series of roll and writes. Gonstrom Clever, Twice as Clever, Bricks also by Wolfgang Warsch. Second Chance is a flip and write by Uwe Rosenberg, and then we have 2 more coming out for Gen Con. That's Dizzle and Encore. So we have basically six
Oh, wow.
games in the same size box, roll and write or flip and write games. Yeah, really excited about it.
Very cool. And so this game comes out.
It just
Just came out because you guys-
on like the like at the end of
End of May.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
Okay, and for those people who are here live at Origins, the sad news about this game that I just heard was
I believe by the time we get back to
It's
the
already sold
booth,
out.
we'll be sold out. We had like 3 copies. I had to break one open to come here.
which is a huge testament to how cool the game
Yeah.
is.
It's
But
selling
if you
well.
can be the first person to find us, there's a demo copy.
There you go. A brand new demo card. We didn't even mark any sheets. There you go.
Steven will sign it.
I will sign it for you. I've signed the game today. The guy said you have to sign Valparaiso. I'm like, I didn't design it. That's just my logo. He goes, right by the logo. So I signed it. He was all excited.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So let's get on to finger guns
Yeah.
now. Finger guns at high noon.
Yes.
Every time I do it, I go the wrong way.
All right. Let's move this guy out of the
Yeah.
way. With my little
get you.
T-Rex arms here.
I'm going to grab one of these because I realized I can't read from a screen either, that
you
far
go.
away. I was like, that was my mistake, putting that far to read.
No, these are yours.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Oh, I have them all pretty, too. Sorry, guys. I tried to make it nice. So Finger Guns at High Noon is a fast-paced game of strategy and negotiation set in the Wild West.
Okay.
So you are going to strategize with all of your opponents. So the first thing you're going to do is talk. And like the very first action, you're going to resolve all these actions in order when you play. But the very first action that everyone wants you to do is, hey, I really want to do this thumbs up. And if you get at least more than half of the people at that table to do thumbs up, anyone who didn't do it is going to lose 5 points. So everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to do it. And if you really want that person to lose points, then no one ends up doing it. So that person ends up losing the points. And I have to say, in case my boss is watching, he's really good at that. So what happens is the sheriff badge right here, we have a cute little sheriff badge, is going to be in the middle of the table for all of the players to be able to grab. At any time when people are talking, someone can shout out 3, 2, 1,
Okay.
and they're going to grab this badge, which means they just can't be the sheriff and shout that out the next round.
Okay.
After that round, they can do it again, but you just can't do that twice in a
What's
row.
the benefit for being sheriff?
It just kind of stops what everyone's doing, and so everyone has to like frenzy and think about what action they're actually taking really fast.
Okay.
So if they weren't like prepared of like I'm not sure what I'm doing, they just throw out whatever like hand gesture that they can think of as fast as they can.
Essentially, you've declared it's high noon. Go. Start shooting, start bombing people, start lassoing people.
And so you start out with 20 life in this game, and you're going to do all these actions in order. So the very first thing, like I said, is with a negotiation, if people had thumbs up or thumbs down, people could lose life. The second thing that happens is a saloon action, and people can throw up 2 fingers, 3 fingers, or 4 fingers. If I did this action and you did this action, we both get those amount of life back on
Even
our
though it's
track.
2 different numbers?
If it's the same numbers, they cancel each other out. So then no one gets
So you
that.
have to throw up a
So
number,
you're
but
daring people.
Right, so
like,
you're
how
kind
many
of
you gonna
like,
put up there?
of course everyone's the highest amount, but then
Nobody
then
gets
nobody gets
anything.
then
anything.
no one's gonna get anything. So then,
Gotcha.
so then sometimes everyone does the lowest, thinking everyone's gonna do the highest, and everyone loses out
course.
too. So it's all kind
Mind
of bluffing
games,
each other. Oh
negotiations.
yeah, absolutely. And then the one I think people choose the most is a shot. You just I'm
Finger
gonna shoot you
guns?
for
See.
I'm just gonna shoot you for 2
And-
health.
And if you're old, you got to do it this way because I can't.
Or you
I
go
can't
sideways,
Keep my
like
fingers.
the movies.
See, I can't do that. Look,
You can't bend your finger.
No, I cannot because old people.
Stephen Bonacore cannot bend his fingers.
I can't. I told you, there's ageism in this industry. They made this game, so I can't do it. So I do this.
I mean, but that's the Fonz, right? Like, I feel like that's the
Like,
right kind of
like,
thing.
hey.
Yeah.
The next thing on the list is lasso. So if you are lassoing, you are trying to grab one of these allies. Allies come out and they get replenished if someone grabs one. There's keepers, which are ones that are going to stay in front of you the entire game.
Okay.
This one is your shot actions cancel the dynamite action of your target.
Let's start that,
Yeah.
Here we go.
So those are really great benefits, and those are really good to grab.
Free to fuse Sniffer Flores.
Isn't she wonderful?
She's pretty fantastic.
She has dynamite. She's going to blow some stuff
Her
up.
hair is fabulous, and she has dynamite.
Right,
I mean,
like it can't get any better than
Fabulous.
that. And then we have, and you can show them that, the instant effects. And so those are one-time use. So you and a survivor of your choice both gain 4 health. The Dyson twins. The artwork in this game is just fantastic, everyone. So I hope you check it out just for that. So the instants sometimes give you a little bit better bump right away, but it's a one-time use. And then you have keepers that you can use over and over in the game. So if you can grab
Fantastic.
some allies, it's totally worth your while. A lot of people try to lasso, so snatch those while you can.
Lasso
And we
up some
have
allies.
a large array of them. So
oh yeah, well
you
look
can
at
show
that.
everyone there's not
Let's go through.
Quite a bit of
yeah there's a lot of
quite a bit of replayability
Yeah.
because you're never gonna see
there's not a lot of
these guys
overlap.
all in the same game.
Oh yeah, look at it. I mean, horseplay Henry Harrison.
Oh,
Very-
of course. Doing it live. We're doing it live. Sorry.
Very cool.
It's just time for him to take his medicine.
My Geritol. I have no idea why that's on actually. What was I have at 2:30? That's so weird. I'll have to find out later. Do it alive.
So after we're lassoing our allies.
After you lasso some allies, you can dynamite. So if I always throw out this thumb, I don't mean to throw out my
That's I
thumb.
love you.
I always throw out the thumb. So you are going to dynamite the people on the sides of you, but you also lose a little bit of health yourself because you're blowing things up. So clearly there's a little like some of that stuff that like residual that hits you as well.
So if you throw up "I love you," like is it minus points?
Maybe. I don't know how to like. I always end up throwing up the thumb. It's
Yeah,
like,
so
hey
it's
guys,
I love you?
Rock on. Yeah, that's I love you.
It's like the
I
rock
love
on.
you in sign language.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm loving you, but I'm also blowing you up.
I thought it was I love you.
It could be, but that is
But
definitely.
that's just like love.
that's the
maybe?
word. That's "I love you." That's the phrase.
The whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I had it always.
Well, this is I love you, but I need to destroy you. That's how that
That's
works.
the distinction.
That's how that works.
I love you, but I'm gonna
And the very last one, which is the strongest, is the power shot. But to get that power shot to go off, you have to have not lost health from a shot or dynamite. So you have to survive all those actions just to get to that really awesome power shot. So you're like, whoosh, and then if you can pull that off, someone
one I can
loses
do.
6 life right away. Now the goal of the game is to be that last cowboy or cowgirl,
Standing.
cow person standing. And so if you happen to not survive, you can show them the ghost actions.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we have the ghost actions. So
So
you
don't
can
worry, you don't
actually
get eliminated. Now you're just a ghost. and now
That's kind
you-
of nice. To be honest,
Yeah.
I was a little worried about like games like this where you have the elimination.
Right, so you don't have people just sitting out doing nothing, waiting for someone to be that last person standing.
Yeah.
So with the saloon action, they can actually prevent people who are alive from gaining health, because if they throw that up and you throw that up as a survivor, you're not going to gain that health. They can still shoot people and they can still lassos. They don't resolve the ally actions, but they can prevent other people from grabbing those really cool cards.
So that's your hate draft
yes,
mechanism.
There you go.
absolutely.
And the ghosts can win.
Yes.
How
Right?
did the ghosts win?
So at the end of each round, you check for survivors, and at the end of the game, if there is 2 or fewer, the ghosts win.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, the survivors win.
Fantastic. So when is Finger Guns available now? Is this coming out?
June 26th.
June 26th.
So it is here first at the show.
Look at that.
First
Yes.
appearance.
Very, very cool. So do Indie Boards and Cards have any other games coming down the pipeline?
So we have Aeons and the New Age, which is shipping to our Kickstarter backers in a few months, and we are trying to have a few copies available at Gen Con,
Okay.
along with Potemkin Empire, which was another Kickstarter we had. And we're going to have the Sherlock Files. We're going to have some demo decks at Gen Con, so we have a
Awesome.
really cool...
What is Sherlock
Oh,
Files?
this is cool. Listen to this.
Yeah, so the Sherlock Files, it's a Sherlock Holmes game. So it's like here's a case inside this deck, and it's gonna it reminds me of like the Exit the Game kind of.
Okay.
And
just a
and the
deck of
things
cards.
and
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
deck of cards, and it walks you through the actions and the things you're gonna do, and here's your
Gotcha.
case, and you have to solve it.
Okay.
And
You have
so
to
there's
figure out who done
who
it.
done it.
By all
Just
these
like all the
people will
Sherlock
come
things.
out, and
Yeah.
items will come out, and places will come out just on cards. Like you draw one, you pick a card, and you have to figure out.
It reminds me
why
of the
these
clues
things-
from that, and then along with Sherlock.
Yeah.
'Cause I played like 221 Baker Street, so I love like the all the Sherlock games. I
And I
think
think
they're
there's going to
fantastic.
be 3 in the same box, like 3
Yes.
cases in the original box, and we're going to be
Yeah.
doing, like as.
But
as-
for Gen Con, we'll have demo decks, so we're just going to be handing those out. So everyone,
Okay.
if they stop by our booth, will get to try out one case.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any events going on? I know we have some viewers here live from Origins, and I know that, Stephen, you were notorious for events
at Gen Con.
at Gen Con.
At Gen Con. Well, yes, we do. In fact, we're doing on Thursday night. Every night I've done a Thursday night launch party for one of the games, and I had mentioned that the 2 games that we're going to be coming out with there are 2 more roll and writes, Dizzle and Knock Encore. We calling it Encore. Dizzle and Encore. So we're going to throw an event called Rock and Roll and Write. Rock and Roll and Write. And
That's cool.
I've heard, I'm not sure about this, but I heard someone's going to be showing up
Oh,
as a
wow.
famous rock star who just had a movie made about them. Yes, I will be.
It's you?
I will be. Yes, I'm the.
It's you?
I will be showing up as Elton John.
That's pretty.
Yes, in full Elton John style
Are you gonna have
regalia.
platform shoes?
From the say, I haven't found platform shoes.
I
yet.
had a pair in high school. They were shiny blue, zip up, and had a platform, and they were
I'll
amazing.
find them for you. Don't worry.
You'll find them for me.
I will find them for
I'll
you.
work on this. So that's and if I get enough nerve up, I might actually do some singing. We'll see how that works. I
Really?
can carry a tune. So we'll see if that all pulls off. But I'll definitely be there as Elton John. So if you want to see something really crazy, stop by the room at least. If you can, I think the tickets are already sold out for the whole thing. but,
I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be epically ridiculous.
So at your booth here at Origins, you guys are demoing a ton of games. What games do you currently have out on the table downstairs?
Right now, we have
We have
Twice as Clever,
and we have Finger Guns on the
and
tables.
Second Chance, Bricks, Subtext, Fine Sand, Valparaiso, and Conflicting Legends.
Very, very
Yeah.
cool. And where can everybody find you?
Here?
527.
527. Like
And
right in
there's
the center
that,
of the
and
hall.
there's that A305 where they can do that little open gaming with some games on the table.
Oh, that's cool.
unmanned but staffed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything else that's coming down the pipeline? Want to make sure everybody gets to hear and know about?
Maybe we'll mention the next Kickstarter.
Democker?
Kickstarter that's happening very soon. Democker we'll be bringing to Kickstarter with our friends Spielworks out in Germany. And that's going to start on June 25th. Democker has is notable for some amazing things, including the fact that it is the first game ever entered into the Board Game Geek database. If you type in BoardGameGeek/BoardGame/1, that's the game that comes up. It came out in 1986, the original version. It got reprinted in the early 2000s by Valley Games, and now we're bringing it back with new, more streamlined mechanics. And it is one of the granddaddies of the heavy Euro games.
Okay.
And
So give me High-level overview.
High-level overview is that it is a recreation of the German elections, which is a democratic system, so it's not too different. You're going to have to go out and try to gain as much popularity in the various states and districts of Germany, and get media influence on your campaign to win elections over either 4 elections or over 7 elections to win the Parliament of Germany.
That's really
called the
neat.
Die Macher. That's the name. It's a German name. D is the Macher means I don't know Macher. The Macher.
I really thought I was going to learn something.
No,
Had me?
you almost had you. But DIE does mean means the. So Die Macher is the name of that game, and it's
We're learning
really
German one game title at a time.
So we're excited about that, and it's going to be a limited. That's a very important thing. It's going to be a limited edition game. We're only doing it on Kickstarter. It's not going to hit retail. Unless in 2 years from now, and literally we're telling people that if you want this game, you have to back it on Kickstarter. We might have a few extra copies like at conventions, but not through like the retail distribution. If there's enough demand 2 years from now in like 2021, we may then put it out again. But for right now, if you want it, you have to back the Kickstarter, coming to you at the end of the month.
So June 25th, keep an eye out for
Keep
that.
an eye out. Get on our mailing list. We'll tell you about it. when
Do
it's
we
there.
know it's going to be a 30-day Kickstarter? Or
No,
70-day
time is short, like 16 days.
16 or 17 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you need to get there and get there quick.
Short and sweet.
Yes.
In and out. Done.
Very cool. And where can our audience go to keep up with all of you guys and everything you got going on?
You can find us on Twitter at Stronghold Games, at Indie Studios, at Action Phase, at Indie Boards and Cards. You can find us on Facebook at Stronghold Games or Indie Boards and Cards, and you can find us on Instagram at Stronghold Games, Action Phase, and Indie Game Studios.
That was really
That,
good.
you
I'm
got that.
incredibly
Boom, boom, boom.
impressed.
I wouldn't have been able to say it that fast.
That was like on point, went down the checklist. Fantastic. Well, I know you guys are super busy, but I wanted to thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time. And again, thank you both so much for sponsoring the show. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you,
And
guys.
Thank you. Thank you both who are both here in the background there, Josh.
We don't
Thank
forget
you.
about you.
Yeah. So,
And thank you all for hanging out with me. Stay tuned for some great board game coverage to be continued here from Origins 2019.
bye. Jazz hands.